Welcome to another edition of Highlander News. I'm Hayden.
And I'm Josie. Highlander breakfast is a staple of most students' morning routine.
Brooklyn Treebold begs the story.
This year, Valley City Public Schools offers free breakfast again.
It was because of COVID started, and a couple years ago we started getting it free from the federal government, and we get reimbursed for each meal we give away, so that's good for the school. And if you do supersize, we have to charge $2 for a supersize because that's not covered under the federal government.
There's a lot of work that goes into morning breakfast.
First thing, I come in, I take all the temps of the freezers and fridge, then I fill up the wells and where you get your food from in the morning, and then I start prepping. And then lunch.
Although Christy has many things she likes about her job, she names some of her favorites.
Being with the kids up here in the morning is really special, and we have a great fun time.
For Highlander News, this is Brooklyn Treebold.
Have you ever wondered how life in Spain looks like? Lucia Zarzo talks about her home country.
Reporter Josie Spangler brings you the story.
I'm Lucia Zarzo. I'm 15 and I'm from Valencia, Spain.
Valencia is a port city in southeastern Spain. The distance between Valley City and Valencia is 4,610 miles. Valencia has 791,413 inhabitants and is with it the third biggest city in Spain. Over the course of the year, the temperature typically varies from 43 Fahrenheit to 86 Fahrenheit.
My favorite food in Spain, I think, the paella. It's like rice with meat. I swim in Spain, but I quit it 2 years ago because it was a lot of pressure with school and all that stuff.
For Highlander News, this is Josie Spengler.
Many students in VCHS are involved with the National Guard, and student civilians can experience drill in a real way.
Reporter Maddie Clabo brings you the story.
Being a part of the National Guard is a common career choice for students at VCHS, and despite its intensity, has been a positive experience for junior Kendra Green.
At first I thought it was going to be really scary, but it's actually really fun. You meet a lot of people. I've made a lot of friends.
Students who are interested in the National Guard also have a unique learning opportunity.
So if they're interested in the National Guard or they don't really know if they want to join or not, they can go as a guest. And we love having guests. They can join in on whatever activities we're doing, but they don't have to. They can sit and watch, and that's totally fine. But then they just follow whoever they came with that weekend, and then they learn everything that we usually would.
What do students experience during drill?
On Friday, right after school, you get ready, and then you go up to the armory that's near the winter show, and we drive to Fargo, and so it splits between two places. Some go to Bismarck and some go to Fargo. And then the first day, that Friday, we do a bunch of paperwork. And then Saturday, we wake up and do physical training. And then at like around noon, we take a shower and eat, and then we come back in uniform and do a bunch of training, like weapons training or map training and stuff like that. And then the Saturday, we have this big culminating event. So we go over everything we learned and kind of have like a competition sort of thing. It's really fun. And then we go home.
Students who are interested in being a guest can talk to almost any student in the National Guard. Students who like the experience can talk to a recruiter. Reporting for Highlander News, this is Maddie Clabo.
Barnes County Museum is a way to investigate history. But what about the history of the museum?
Reporter Amelia Meester brings you the story.
This is the oldest historical society in the state for a county. And it formally began in 1930 on the third floor of the courthouse by a few different groups. The Daughters of the American Revolution, the Pioneer Club, the Pioneer Daughters, the Women's Relief Corps, and a few other groups came together to finally create a museum that they'd been dreaming for. 1883, these folks are coming out here and they're realizing that they're making history and that they need to somehow record this and preserve it because they carved a town, a society out of nothing. Back in 1990, they moved out of the courthouse to the building where the church is on the west end of town. This building came open in 1996 when the fair store closed, and it was given to us by the Barbers. And we moved in 1997 and have been here ever since. Our background is to change things very frequently. A lot of opportunities come through with traveling exhibits. We've had the Smithsonian here 3 times, and it'll be coming again in 2024. Yeah, I'm constantly working in the future. We have Barnes County's 150th anniversary coming up, and so the wheels in my mind are turning right now, so I hardly know what year I'm in.
For Highliner News, this is Amelia Meester.
Here are some more favorite teacher memories about the class of 2022.
If you've been in my room, you know that I always remember the writers. And we had Brinklin and Bryn and Maggie, and they were a lot of fun with their writing. I have Jenna made me this, signed it and everything. And a lot of dancers in my room that year, and I remember the constant dance routines in the morning before school started. That happened a lot. Kaylor would bring me continental breakfast from one of the hotels in town a couple times a week, and that was awesome. Who doesn't love pastries every morning? Alex, I remember having Alex. He was a sweetheart. And then probably the other one that Jerica Eldridge doesn't even know. When we read 3 Times Lucky that year, she bickered with everybody about how the lady's name was Miss Lana and everybody else called her Miss Lana. And the next year we actually emailed the author, and she wrote back and said that Jerica was 100% right. So it's a couple years late, but you win.
All right. So my thing that I remember the most about this group of kids is sweethearts, absolute sweethearts. Morgan Main was like a little 30-year-old woman trapped in a 8-year-old body, and she was always wanting to do things a certain way, and this is how it was done. And when she would get flustered, you know, she would still do what she does now, and she'd go, oh, you know, she would do that. Look at Asia. Asia was always very fancy when she came to school, always looked so nice, very quiet, never caused any problems. And then you had Chloe and Casey. And Chloe and Casey, again, they were kind of more, definitely more of my rowdy. I wouldn't say naughty. They weren't naughty, but definitely say rowdy. I would say that the 2 of them together were kind of rowdy. And you know what? I would take this class back. So if any of you guys want to come back 2nd grade, I'm your gal. Okay?
Reporting for Highliner News, this is Jenna Lindgren.
Reporter Amelia Meester takes you back to 2015 with Sam Washington Elementary flashbacks.
You already know what it is. Silent talk, silent talk, silent talk. Go and do it for me. Now watch me whip, watch me that. Can you do it? Now watch me, watch me, watch me. Can you do it? Watch me, watch me. Can you do it? Okay. And stanky leg, stank. Do the 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 stanky leg. Break your legs, break 'em. Break your legs, break them. Tell 'em break your legs, break 'em. Watch me whip, watch me that.
this is Amelia Meester.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of Highlander News. I'm Josie.
And I'm Hayden.